What if you had the power to sell anything? These safety goggles, this tape, or even this basketball. Anything. I'll tell you how you do it. Using something called marketing games. And if you want to know more about how to do that, stay tuned, because we're talking all about it on this edition of the Monday Morning Brick Report. It is often said that the difference between marketing and selling can be summed up with one simple analogy. Selling is the equivalent of going door to door to door to door, trying to get people to buy your product. While on the other hand, marketing can be summed up by all of those customers coming to your door to buy your product. Now, whenever people hear that analogy, of course, the next thing on their mind is, well, I want to learn how to market. How do I get better at that? Well, I can tell you one way to get better at that by reading this book called How to Sell a Lobster by Bill Bishop. Now, in that book, Bill Bishop goes over several different types of marketing games. I want to share 3 of them with you right here, right now. Let's go. So this marketing game is called the 3 Boxes, and it's taken pretty much directly from the book of How to Sell a Lobster. So let's go ahead and get into the story now. When I was a little kid, I would go to a movie theater. I wanted to buy a drink, and the guy behind the counter would always ask, "Would you like a large or a small one?" I ordered a small one, and my mother ordered the small one too because she was on a diet. As it turned out, 80% of the customers at the theater ordered the small drink. Now, this went on for many years at every theater. 80% bought the small size and 20% bought the large size. The pattern continued until the early 1980s when the theater owners tried to figure out how to get more people to order the large drink. Someone suggested that they introduce a 3rd size, a super size, to see if that would change anything. So the question is, if you go to a theater now and order the largest drink, how big is it? It's huge. You can't drink it all. It's absolutely massive. And now 20% of the people buy the small size, 60% of customers buy the regular size, which is actually the old large size, and 20% of the people buy the super size, which the theater owners never even anticipated. So now they have 80% of the people ordering either the old large or an even larger size, all because they introduced a 3rd size, a super size. How does it work? If you only sell one size, then the customer only has a choice between yes and no. And because they don't have anything else to think about, they focus on the price. They try to get you to lower it generally. Now, if you have 2 sizes, that's better. The customers are choosing between the small and the large, so they are more likely to buy something. There's one problem though. Most of the people will choose the small size. Most people think small, or they are trying to save money. Or they are cautious because they aren't sure if they're making the right decision. So they play it safe and buy the small size. In fact, it is almost always 80% small when you offer only 2 choices. If you have 3 sizes, however, the whole game changes. Customers will start looking at the large size first, or the most expensive or the most elaborate offering. They will look at it first because it is so dazzling, so beautiful, so huge. Then they will look at the price, and many will realize it's out of their league. Then they will look at the small size. But the small size doesn't look so great compared to the large size. It looks cheap, small, and unappealing. So then they look at the middle box, and that looks just right. Not too small or too large, not too cheap or expensive. And because it's called the regular, it's also the safe bet because it means that it is the one most people buy. Most people are followers, not leaders. Most people will buy the middle box because that appears to be the one most people buy. How crazy is that? So here's the 3 boxes trick. If you have something that you want to sell most of the time, position in the middle, make a very small version, and make a supersized version, and most people will buy the one in the middle. The 3 Boxes marketing game will work in every market. Now, can you guys think of one industry or product that utilizes the 3 Boxes marketing game to sell more? I mean, I personally see it all the time in the Make Money Online space, but I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments section if you see anything like that right now. Okay, now that was the 3 boxes. It's an incredibly powerful marketing game. You will see it being used over and over again to this very day all over the place. Now, I have 2 more marketing games I want to talk to you about. They came directly from Bill Bishop's book, and we're going to talk about them right after these messages. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out with me on today's episode of the Brick Report. You know, I just wanted to let you know that I have an Insiders Club. It's a discount club, and we offer group coaching every single month. We hang out, we talk, I answer everybody's questions about their businesses, so you'll basically get a professional marketer answering your questions on how to further your business and get ahead in the internet marketing space for the discounted rate of only $10.80 a month. So click the link below in the description and check it out. Hey guys, welcome back to the Brick Report, and we are on to our second marketing game of the day. This one is called the Mountain Guide. Let's do it. Hey guys, again, this marketing game is taken pretty much directly from Bill Bishop's How to Sell a Lobster. This one's called the Mountain Guide, and it goes like this. Here's a story to help you serve your market better and get more customers. Let's pretend you're a mountain guide on Mount Everest. You have a specialty though. You take people from halfway up the mountain to the very top of Mount Everest. In order to work with you, people have to climb halfway on their own or with the help of someone else. So a climber makes it halfway up, but he doesn't know any better, and he starts climbing the second half on his own. You shout at him. You tell him to stop because the second half of the mountain is much more dangerous than the first half. You tell him it's steeper, the air is thinner, there are constant avalanches, and lots of people die up there. The idea is you have to scare him or he'll go up on his own and probably kill himself. The problem is, if you make him too scared, he'll be paralyzed by fear and not go up the rest of the way at all. What you need to do is tell the climber that he can make it to the top with a little help because he has already demonstrated skill, courage, persistence, and strength. All important attributes that will help him get to the top. We are not flattering the climber here. But before we weigh in with our criticisms, we should take the time to acknowledge all the things that have been done right so far. We should help the prospects see how they are already halfway up their mountain. In this way, you and your prospect will have realized together what they've already accomplished and where they should go next. You will have identified their growth edge. It's the exact place where a person needs help. For example, if you try to teach a 6th grader C-spot run, he's going to be bored silly. Try to teach that same kid nuclear physics and he won't understand it. You have to determine your prospect's growth edge and tailor your instructions to match his level. The important thing to remember about this story is this. It doesn't matter who you're talking to. Everyone is halfway up the mountain. It's your job to look harder and find out what they've accomplished, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant it appears. Have you ever had an experience where you have been made to feel like you were at the bottom of the mountain? Did that stop you from buying? I know it has me. So let me know in the comments. I want to hear about it. It's something you'll see being used over and over and over again all over the internet. And you see when people use this kind of strategy, they get more sales. Bottom line is respect your customers. I have one more marketing game for you on today's episode of the Brick Report, and it is a humdinger. So stay tuned. I'll get back with you right after this message. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me today on the Brick Report. Just want to remind everybody to make sure you get over there to epicconversions.com. Check out the blog. There's tons of free information on there that's going to help you get ahead in your business. Also, there's a lot of free goodies over there that you're going to love. So make sure you get over there and check out epicconversions.com. I'll see you on the website. Peace, everybody. Hey, welcome back to the Monday Morning Brick Report. And I have one more marketing game for you. That marketing game is named after the title of this book, How to Sell a Lobster. Let me show you what it's all about. So our third and final marketing game. How to Sell a Lobster. This is one of my favorites, and I can't wait to tell you this story. So, the first story in Bill Bishop's book, How to Sell a Lobster, takes us back to the early 1980s when he was studying journalism and working in the back kitchen at a popular steak restaurant in Toronto. His boss promoted him to waiter, and after a couple months, he had become a competent waiter. It was about that time that the restaurant launched what the management called the Great Lobster Contest. The Great Lobster Contest was designed to boost the sales of lobster add-ons at the restaurant. So to sell more add-ons, the waiters were encouraged to use suggestive selling. Things like, would you like a baked potato or some crab legs with your steak? Or would you like some delicious cheesecake for dessert? Stuff like that. So the way the Great Lobster Contest worked was this. The waiter who sold the most lobsters over a 3-month period would win a prize. For the first 2 weeks, Bill's lobster sales were pretty bad, just like everyone else's using suggestive selling. He would sell like 1 or 2 at night, but then he had a really good break of luck and met who would become his lifelong mentor, Marketing Mike. Marketing Mike suggested the idea that many people who eat at a restaurant are guests of the person who is going to pay the bill. As a guest, you aren't going to say yes to a lobster in addition to your meal because you will look greedy. So he suggested creating a special. And I say creating in parentheses because it was kind of interesting how he did it. Basically, the special would be a lobster, a steak, and a side order of rice for $18.50, which was what all those items cost anyway when you bought them together. So a special in name alone. It was interesting because Bill didn't have the authority to make any real specials. But with this one, he didn't change any prices, he just repositioned the menu items. The idea was that if and when the managers found out, they wouldn't mind because all the extra lobster sales. So the next night, Bill went out there and tried the special plan. He walked up to the first table of 8 and announced that we have a special tonight, a steak, a lobster, and rice for $18.50. Then he proceeded to take their order. Everyone at the table ordered the special. That night, he sold 58 lobsters. His nearest competitor in the contest sold 3. Over the next 3 months, Bill Bishop went on to sell over 400 lobsters. His nearest competitor sold only 90. He was written up in the restaurant's local newspaper as the greatest lobster salesperson in the history of the company. He never told anyone how he did it until he wrote the book, How to Sell a Lobster, many years later. However, why did it work? It worked for 3 reasons. 1, people like specials. They sound more fun, they sound unique, they sound like an opportunity you don't want to miss out on. So there is a scarcity factor. 2, by combining 3 menu items into a nice simple idea, the special, the customers can now visualize one small, tidy package in their mind. Instead of reading over the whole menu, they can now make a quick and easy buying decision by choosing the special. So it takes away any overwhelm. You see fast food restaurants doing this all the time with their number combos. And number 3, by making lobster part of the special, you've given all the guests permission to get what they really want, a lobster, without looking greedy. So you've overcome any objections that would keep them from getting what they actually truly want anyway. Now I have a question for you. Was Bill being deceptive by telling the customers there was a special, even though nothing was actually on sale technically? Let me know in the comments what you think. Okay guys, so that was How to Sell a Lobster, and I saved that one for last because I think it really defines the idea of marketing instead of selling. The fact of the matter is, when Bill Bishop decided to start using marketing games instead of selling games, he sold way, way more. And it really came down to thinking outside of the box, didn't it? Now, if your interest is piqued and you want to know more about different types of marketing games, I'll talk more about this book and what I think about it after these messages.
Now listen to me, brother man, I'll tell it to so you can't understand. We got a whole lot of more discovering. Don't act like you know all to know in the universe. You can't flow from the verse to the next verse. You're a manifest of the...
Guys, How to Sell a Lobster was written in 2004. It is only 127 pages long. It contains 14 marketing games. It's a very short read. It's a very impactful read. It will change the way you do things. It will have an effect on you. It will inspire you to think differently and outside the box with your business. When it comes to books you should read, you have to be selective because we all only have so much time on this earth and we don't know how long that is, and none of us want to waste time. Books like this are ones that you should put on your list to read. That's all I got on this edition of the Brick Report. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, guys. If you like this video, please like, please share, please subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next time on the Brick Report.
Now listen to me, brother man, I'll tell it to so you can't understand. We got a whole lot of more discovering. Don't act like you know all to know in the universe. You can't flow from the verse to the next verse. You're a manifest of the effect of a cause without a man, but you're not a lost cause, brother man. Now hear me out, sister lady. Keep hoping for the sun when it's being rainy. You've a special kind of responsibility, the ability